back to the channel. Today I have something a little bit different for you guys. Hopefully something interesting for you. What I have here in front of me is Orlok, and Orlok is produced by Mr. Scott Whitworth. Okay, and I'll leave a link down below for his eBay page. His eBay page was more updated as far as what kits he has available. But this was sculpted by Andy Bergholtz and he has a couple of kits available from him in Scott's eBay page, which these are amazing. Now these kits are casted in a translucent resin, okay, and you can paint this kit any way you want. You can paint. I could paint it in the traditional way that I usually paint it, but I'm going to try something a little bit different. I want to preserve the translucency of the kit. What I said is I want to preserve the translucency of the kit, and basically, if you shine the light behind it, you can see how translucent it is in certain areas. Okay, the nose and stuff. Very, very cool. All right, so there's people that had painted these in a different way to preserve that. Now I had this kit for a very long time, but I was always a little apprehensive about trying those methods because they were all very, very new to me. And now that I got a little bit more into painting and things like that, I would love to try to see if I can get that kind of effect. Now, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But, you know, I would love to give it a try. One of the best videos, how-to videos that I've seen out there is by Rafael Robledo Jr. All right, and I'll leave a link down below for his videos. And he didn't do one for this one, but for a couple of different ones out there. Maybe I'll leave that one of those links to that particular video or to his webpage, YouTube channel, and you guys can scroll through and see all the stuff, amazing stuff, work that he does. Okay, now one of the things is this is how it's casted in this material. Now what I'm going to do is not prime it with the regular priming methods that I usually use. What I did is I sealed it, and I sealed it with UV resisting clear matte. Okay, and that's what I use, and I did it a couple times, a couple coats. And the reason why is because I want to preserve the translucency, and I'm going to paint right onto this kit like that. Okay, and that's how I'm going to get started. I'm going to start doing some color, some speckling. I'm not going to do tinting. I'm going to do more of speckling than anything, right, to give it some texture and some variation in the skin tone. But from there, you know, I'm a little bit undecided to what color skin tone am I going to go with, more of a pale look, or give it more of a, you know, of a ghouly look, like maybe throw a little bit of green or blues or something. Okay, but I haven't really decided that. I was looking into maybe doing some eyebrows and some hair, but you know, I kind of like the way that it looks like that with no hair at all, which I think is phenomenal. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, I have pictures from Scott's website that he has a painted one. He offers this painted and unpainted on his page. If you want to buy one painted from him, you can. If you want to buy one unpainted like this, you can do that too. All right, but he has a painted version of this, and I'll post it up. Maybe I'll post a picture here, all right, of him. Am I going to use that for a reference? No, because that's his painting. I want to come see if I can come up with my own method. And Rafael's method is a very good method, but I also don't want to copy too much from him. So my plan is to come up with, you know, use his methods a little bit, some of his techniques, you know, with the modeling and the veining and the speckling and all that. And then, you know, add some of the stuff that I usually do with the pastels and, you know, the light, you know, oversprays and stuff for the skin tone. All right, the rest of the kit is very simple. Here's the rest of the bust, which is his part of his jacket, and he has a like a scarf. Okay, Not a lot of detail, but you know, very simple. But it's that's good too, because it's just a jacket. You can make it look as an old jacket or something. You know, I don't know. I haven't decided what color I'm going to go with, either the scarf or the jacket yet. I think I'm going to go a little more traditional, like a browns and things like that. And here's the base where he stands on. So everything will stand like this. I will have to pin everything together. Okay, I got holes here on the bottom here. Okay, and then pin the head onto the top over here. All right. So this still has to be primed. I haven't primed these yet, and they would need to be cleaned up and primed. Okay. And the only thing I worked on was the head. This one doesn't have like any seams. Okay. All right. So, and it's very simple, beautiful. I love the pedestal in there. There you go, like that. Very simple, very good, very effective. All right. So there's the top and the pedestal, the bust. But the reason why I wanted to do this one is just because it's just the head. Okay. Let me see if I can get this one out real quick. I have a couple other ones made of the same materials. All right. But they're a little bit more skin. They have more skin tone, or they would be a little bit more complex. And I figured this would be a good start for me to try to do that one. Now this one needs to be cleaned up because I think it's all dusty and dirty. And here's another one. Yeah, this is really cool. This needs to be washed and cleaned and all that stuff like that, but it's pretty dusty. There's a lot of dust on it. Alright, it needs to be washed and cleaned, but there he is. There's a vampire, another vampire. A man bat or something. This is sculpted on somebody else, but once we do this on the channel, I'll give you all the information that you need if you're interested in this one. Alright, I'm not sure if it's still in production or not, but I'll give you who makes it, and maybe you can research and try to find them. Alright. But Orlok, I had him for a while, you know, for a few years now. And like I said, I was a little apprehensive of, you know, not that I was apprehensive of painting him, it's just the style of painting. I never did that kind of style. To try to preserve the translucency of this. And now that I feel a little bit more comfortable doing it, I figure let me give it a try and let me see what I can come up with. Alright. So like I said, I clear coat on it, just in case if I'm not happy with the paint, I can always, you know, remove. It'll be easier to remove if I just did it straight onto the resin, and it will be a pain in the ass to remove any of the paint. Alright, because it'll probably bite into this type of resin. Okay, so alright, so like I said, there are references out there that you guys can look into how to paint one of these, and I'm going to leave the one that I found the best one is Rafael's page. I'm a huge fan of his work. He's got a ton of stuff there that you can learn from him. I highly recommend that you guys go and check out his YouTube page. Awesome painter. He hasn't posted anything as of late because I know he had a back surgery and things like that, but I do know that he has videos to upload and things like that, new stuff. But if you know, he's been around for a very long time, so, and if you watch his videos, amazing. You know, he goes into detail about stuff that he does and things like that, which is really cool. All right, but for starting up with the painting on this, I'm going to start off with inks. Now I have two different type of inks. I have Liquitex and I got FW inks. Okay, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to mix the colors into a little cup. All right, and yeah. And okay, into one of these little cups, and it's going to be a little bit of paint with 50% water and 50% alcohol mixed into the cup and then into the airbrush. Now what you want to do is you want to thin it enough that you want to make those paints translucent. Okay, so, and then when you spray, it's going to be a very delicate, you know, process. So, but hopefully the effect that I'm looking to get is going to turn out to be, you know, really cool. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to this thing to look really cool. If it comes out really nice, I'll bring this to Jersey Fest. If not, I'm going to keep it home. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we'll see how it goes. I love the sculpt. The sculpt is phenomenal. Andy did an amazing job on this thing. This thing is beautiful. It's got a ton of detail, some veins. I'm going to add some veinings to the ears, to the nose, you know, some little capillaries and things like that. So, And then the eyes, I have not decided yet what I'm going to do with the eyes yet. What kind of effect am I going to do or whatever, you know, as far as those go. But, you know, I have an idea, but we'll see how everything goes and how everything works out. And we'll see where we go with that, all right? But beautiful detail on him. There he is. Orlok by Andy Bergholtz, all right? You know, Scott Whitmore on eBay. These kits are still available. And if you guys are interested, again, this is a 1/3 scale kit, okay? And he has a bunch of stuff there, not just by Andy, but also by another guy that I'm a huge fan of, is Casey Love. He's got a couple of kits made by him, still available on his site, you know. So check it out. I'll leave links down below for all this stuff. All right, so let me go and get some stuff ready, and then when I come back, we'll start putting some paint on it. All right, cool. All right, so let's start mixing some of this paint. Just so you know, I have a little bit of another cup over here, water and not water, but a little bit of airbrush thinner and a little bit of airbrush cleaner on these little trays over here. Just as a case, if I don't like what I see, I could just go in there with a Q-tip and clean it up really quick. Okay, and this way it doesn't bite into too quick while I'm doing this. So, all right. So first up, we're going to do a little red. Put some red in the cup. I'm throwing a little water. Turn this down pretty well. And then I got a little bit of isopropyl. So I'm going to put in a cup, and I'm going to in the airbrush cup, and I'm going to test it out on a piece of paper. See if it's okay. It's a little much, but that's okay. And that's basically what you want to do. Very thin layers, all right? All right, so we can, okay, so you're going to start adding a little red. I want to do a little bit in the ears. Some better. little beads and getting these things off with the Q-tip, the tip of it. So I don't want to build up on that. I just want a little bit of, if you see what I'm doing is just putting a little bit of tint on some of these wrinkles and things like that. A little bit of color on the ears. Okay. Alright, on the nose. Alright. Just put a little bit of color. I'm going very gently with the airbrush. I got to choke down on my airbrush enough. Now if you guys don't have this kind of airbrush, you can get one of these. I call it a choker, but they got a name for it. And I can't remember what it was. It's just a little valve that you can adjust. Alright. And depending how high you, right now I got it all the way, you know, open. I don't have it closed. But if you need to regulate your air, you leave my compressor, when I try to adjust it doesn't give me a good adjustment. I can't get it adjusted fine enough to, it's a cheap little compressor. Alright, but between this valve and that in the back, I'm trying to control how much air I'm pushing out of this airbrush right now without having to mess around with the compressor too much, because it doesn't give me a really accurate, you know, amount of pressure. I usually keep it at the one level and that's it, and I mess around with this stuff at the end, so I don't have to mess around with the compressor since it's so cheap. I don't think it's as accurate as some maybe better compressors that are out there. So okay. I don't want to overdo it. Okay. I just wanted to get a little bit of color onto those specific areas right now before I continue with the next step. Okay, somewhere around there by the teeth. Until I hit that. Trigger too wrong, it spits out. That's what it's doing. It's gotta be a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Just to get a little definition in certain areas. I want to make it look real freaky, really good. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal it. Okay, and I want to go and I'm going to start doing a little freckling. I think that's where we're going to go next. Alright, so give me a few minutes and I'll come back and we'll continue. Hey everybody, how are you? So here we are, we're back with Orlok. I did not record, and because I was having a very hard time getting some fine vein lines on his ears. Okay, with the airbrush. I was trying to do it with the airbrush and I couldn't do it, so I ended up doing it with just the brush, very thinly. I used inks with a little bit of alcohol in it, and all I did was just go in and draw some lines, like on the nose, put some capillaries on his ears, and these veins are more defined. So I went a little bit heavier, not too heavy, and I still have to do one here on the forehead, which I want to do a little bit lighter, but eventually we're gonna blend everything in together. I'm gonna do this vein here, and then what I'm gonna do, see this vein right here that's coming right through his forehead right there. All right, so that one right there, I want to define that one a little bit, and then after that, what I want to do is start doing some speckling. All right, now I did it with a very fine brush. I picked a liner brush to do that work with. All right, I'm going to use a little bit of blue for that vein. I did some little red capillaries on his, and a little bit of light blue. Same thing under his nose and on the side of his nose, and both ears and things like that. So just did a little modeling there. Very, very thin, light little veins that will or will not show once I do the last layers and stuff. But everything is going to be lightly done, lightly sprayed. So same thing with this vein. I don't want it to be too pronounced. I'm just using the I'm not using an ink for that one. I'm using a shade from Citadel, Dragong Nightshade. It's bluish color. Just very lightly, just going in there, just go over that thick vein that he has on his forehead. All right, and that's about it. That's all I want. I don't want nothing else. Just checking. So I'm happy with that. So I like the way that the reds are showing off on his face and everything. We are going to do a little pastel work on some of these creases and things like that. But for now, right now, what I want to do is, before we do that, is I would like to start doing some freckling. Alright? And the colors that I'm going to pick for that is Dragong Nightshade. Alright, and let me get a brush that I can put paint on the cup. I want to put paint on here, one of these. I'll try to bring it a little closer. So I got a mess over here. Hold on. Yeah, so I took a little break from painting for a couple days just to get my head straight on a few things. Get this a little closer there, right there. All right, so I'm going to put a little paint here. All right. And, water it down just a little bit. I'm going to mix it. Yeah, I needed to get my head straight on a couple of things, so I needed to take a couple of days off from painting. I got 4 or 5 projects going on right now. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just things I need to get work, things I need to let dry, because I used some oils on one of the. You guys are going to see the videos on those eventually. But I've been working on those things like that. So yeah. Trying to get those things done. All right, so I was looking for a brush to use here for that. I have this one, but I'm not too sure if I want. I need something just a little bit stiffer. I think I got one right here. That's it right there. See, I like these little stiff bristles that snap when you do that. So this way it snaps onto the kit. All right. And then one thing I want to do is, I have a sponge ready, but I want to get a couple Q-tips. Have a little bit of water on the side, but I'm ready to go. Just didn't even need to wipe anything out that I don't want. Now the kit is sealed. You know what? Let me take a pause. Let me seal this again really quick. Before we get started. I don't want to have to wipe and remove what I just did. So give me 1 sec. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with this. Let me see, just do a little bit more water, just in case. All right. Start off with the blue. And okay. Barely see the blue, very lightly. It's very subtle. Alright. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm trying to get a good light, good angle on that. Alright. Alright. Okay, so let's leave that like that. Let me clean this brush. I'm going to seal the blue, and we're going to continue doing another color. We'll do a red. Alright, so I'll be right back. Alright, so now I'm going to go with the red. I already did the same thing as the blue. I added some water. Alright, you're going to unload a little bit. Alright, and unload on either a piece of paper or somewhere that you're safely just and then you're gonna just go over the cat. All right, so, and like I said, this is very subtle. All right, just go all around. Okay, very subtle. Alright, so same thing again. I'm going to spray this down and then we'll come back and we'll do another color. Okay, so the next color up I got is yellow. And I used the Vallejo Moon Yellow from Vallejo. Same thing. I'm going to load a little bit on paper and then I'm going to do it on a kit. Alright. Again, I'm going to seal, come back. We'll do another color. Alright, let's do some brown. Bright Glam Flesh shade. Yellow still left on it. Alright. This one's going to show a little bit more than the yellow, obviously. And then probably all the other colors, because it is a darker color. You can see the dots. Alright, there's a mixture of different colors. All four that I just used. They're all there. Some might be a little more pronounced than others, like the brown. Okay. But remember that layers. We're doing everything in layers. You don't want to go way too thick on these. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to seal this, and then what I want to start doing is doing some age spots and things like that. Maybe going into. I think I want to go into that first before I do anything else. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, maybe give the skin tone a little more texture before we go in and do the other stuff, like the pastels and then the layering of the other skin tones. Alright, so let me go seal this, and then when I come back, let me think about how I'm going to approach that, and then we'll move on. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, just sprayed them, and I want to put a little more brown in it, more age spots and things like that. So I want to go a little bit heavier. I went with a little bit of thicker paint. I want to see what kind of results I'm going to get out of that. Alright, so let's give it a try. I think I got rid of too much there. There we go. I am going to go with the brush in there too, but I want to try this way first. Let's see what kind of results I get out of it. If not, I'll just switch over to the brush and do it that way. And I want to hit like somewhere like around these eyes, the eyebrow area. So I'm not going to do any hair. I'm going to leave them bold. I kind of like, you know, the whole look. You know what I mean? So I want to go in and try to hit this spot right here, and that's up there like that, and add some spots there, obviously on top of the head. Alright, so I'm still going to go in with the brush a little bit. I'm going to put some heavier color onto his skin. Go with my airbrush, see how it works out. And we also want to put a little color on those moles. He's got a couple moles. He's got one here. He's got one on the side of his nose, and I thought I saw another one somewhere. Alright, let me add a little color in that mole. This is looking good right there, guys. Alright. So let's try a little bit. I want to put the head up like this. I'm going to go with the diluted one more a little bit. Let's see what we can get here. A couple. Thicker age spots somewhere, spot here and there. A little bit more pronounced. Hopefully it'll show a little better. Very lightly, I'm adding a little texture to the eyebrows. I'm just adding some spots, not freckles or but just more like, I don't know, like very light texture to the skin. Okay, and I'm just, you know, dabbing in there and things like that. Going under the lips a little bit, add a little texture to that. Just to, and I'm not going into creases either. I'm just going around the flat part of the skin. All right, just adding some little bit of texture, not too much. We're doing pastels, so a lot of this is probably going to be hidden, but just trying to give a little texture to this, these eyes, these areas right there. So, all right, so here he is. There's the moles. Right. So let me spray him. We spray him down, and we can move on to the pastels then. All right. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go in with a little shading. These glasses are so dirty. I'm not gonna use the red iron oxide as of right now, because I think it's gonna be a little bit too dark for the little creases and everything. So I'm going to go and use the burnt sienna. So you have to excuse me for a minute. Alright, that was it for me. So I want to use the burnt sienna. And just do some of these creases in here, especially the little ones. So I got a new very fine brush to do all that. Alright, and I'm going to get my filbert brush out. And I'm going to try to see what it looks like first. So I want to try somewhere. Let's try here in the neck real quick to see what it looks like, because I'm used to doing the other one. As you guys know, that's my go-to color, so I'm going with something a little different now. That's not too bad. All right, very subtle. All right. So I'm going to capture some of these smaller ones. He's got a lot of wrinkles in his head, so we are going to be fast forwarding through this through this stuff. Okay, so just so you know. But I'm going to test this out here, see what it looks like after I'm done, you know, blending a little bit, and then I'm going to see what it looks like, and I'm going to take a step back and just to see, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so hang tight. It's good. Let me try the red iron oxide. I was just afraid that red iron oxide was going to be a little bit too strong, but I think I'm going to need it. I'll just go very lightly on it, because I'm not digging that color, and that is it's one of the closest colors I got that I can use to let's try it. Again, I want to start down here. Very subtle, the shading. Okay, it's not very stark. It's a little bit, you know, in some areas, but not too bad. So I'm getting the deeper creases in there. It's getting a little warm up here. But trying to get the deeper wrinkles and things like that, which, you know, a little bit of shade, a little bit of blood flow in those certain areas. He's pale. He's going to be very, like, you know, blood. He's going to need blood and everything, you know, but you still want to capture those wrinkles and, you know, at least the deeper ones and stuff, and give it a little bit of movement, a little bit of life. Okay, I think that's good. I don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to seal him, and then we're going to do magenta in the eyes and stuff like that. Okay, so give me a few minutes and I'll be back. Alright, see how after I sprayed him... Oh, gotta be right back. Let's try that again. A little magenta. Okay. start up here. What do you guys think? Definitely, right? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to seal this, and then I'm going to hit that bottom eyelid again, maybe one more time, and darken it up a little bit, and see what it looks like. Well, let me see what it looks like once I spray it. All right, let me do that. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, let's do that. Let's just hit underneath that bottom eyelid just a little bit more. Just darken him up a little bit. What do you guys think about that, huh? That looks brutal. He's coming along together very, very nicely. So I'm going to spray over, and then after that I'm going to start doing some layering on the skin tone. Alright, and then we'll come back and we have to do more pastel work. That's fine, we can do that, but remember, you don't want to do too heavy of lights. You want to try to maintain the translucency of the resin. So let me get the stuff ready, and I'll come back and we'll start doing a little bit of layering. Alright, so basically what we're gonna do, I put tan flesh. Alright, it's just a very good neutral color. Even though it says tan flesh, it's a good base color for Caucasian, as far as, you know, it's my go-to paint. You guys know that. So I want to use that color. If I have to go any lighter, I'll throw a little bit of a lighter tone over. But I think it should work okay because it's pretty close to the skin tone that I'm working with. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray over the whole thing very, very lightly. I already have it mixed in here. I have it diluted. And that's about as much as paint as I want to put on. Alright. Don't want to go too crazy on the ears because I want to maintain that translucency, alright, and things like that. Not too going to go too crazy near the eyes, right, because I have already all that pastel work that I did. But trying to stay in the range, alright, of that area, like the ear, like not get on the ears too much, or not get in too close to the nose and things like that, or the eyes. Okay, so very lightly spray over from far away. I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to try to, if you look, this is where I'm going to be hitting right now. I'm trying to go over here and work my way around. Okay. Make sure I got a good. I'm going to go nice and gently over this whole kit. Guys, tell me what you think. I mean, this is looking amazing to me. You know, this is me though. Oh my god. Needs a little bit of color on the nose. There you go, right there. Check this out, man. This is awesome. I didn't need a lot of paint either, which is cool because I didn't want to cover up a lot of this stuff, but it's got a lot of natural. I think that's better light right there. Let's see. There you go. Look at all the spots. Look at that texture right there. Ears, the eyes, the wrinkles, the veining. It's not too overly done, which is good. You can see still some of those little hairline veins in the nose. Still maintain its translucency. The moles blended in very nicely. He just looks freaking evil, man. Look at that. Alright, top of the head. What do you guys think? I think that's pretty good right there. I don't think it needs any more. That's it. I think I'm there with it. This looks freaking amazing to me. The big thing is going to be the eyes, the teeth, alright? Got to get the right colors in there. As far as the skin tone goes, guys, I'm blown the fucking away, man. You know? This is awesome. Oh, this is such an easy thing to do, man. These type of resin is really cool, man. I thought it was gonna be a lot harder, to be honest with you, but you know, I really, really liked it. It makes me want to do more. You know, I got 2 other kids that are like this, and just the results of it's just fantastic. Just like this, nothing else. You need to do nothing else to this. That's it. It's got some natural highlights on it, on the eyebrows and the nose, top of the ears, in the chin area. It's got some subtle little tones here and there. I'm very happy with it. I'm trying to look to see what I need to do, what I need to add. I don't think I need to add anything else. I'm very happy the way it is right there, guys. It's just sick. A little pink on that, maybe. Oh, okay. Alright, guys. I want to clean up my airbrush. And I'm going to seal him. And then when we come back, I think we need to start working on the eyes and the teeth. Alright, but I want to seal him really good. Alright. I'm just really blown away. I'm totally honest with you right now. Totally blown away. I'm really, really happy with this. Alright guys, I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, welcome back. What I ended up doing yesterday was putting in the white in the eyes and the teeth. And the reason why I didn't video it, because you would have seen all that. Alright? So, that's where I'm at right now with him. So what I'm going to do next is put the eyes in. I got decals, and what I'm going to use, I have a yellow. I'm actually using Archer eyes today because those are the only ones, big ones that I have. I don't have any from Evolution X yet. I have to order his new larger size decals, so I'll be doing that soon. So the color that I'm using is like a yellow color eyeball. Alright, I want to see how this is going to look, and I want to drop it into the water. Alright, these, they don't take a long time to come off, so let me get ready real quick. I'm going to use a brush. I'm going to put a little bit of the microsol onto the eye, and I am going to go to the corner of the eye. Alright, let's get them ready to go. Water, a little microsol. There we go. So just pick them up with the brush, lay them on there. Now these Archer eyes, they do come with a little glow corner piece. Alright, if you can see, the glow's on that side. I want to turn that. Alright. That looks freaking creepy already. Alright, you gotta be gentle with these because these, they do break very, very easily, and I don't want them there. There we go. So I want to push them over to the corner without folding the decal. A little bit more water in there. I don't want that to happen, see? Alright. I'm slowly going to start pushing in. Alright. Around. Warm up a little bit more. And that one down. There we go. See that little spot right there? This little glow in this corner? I want it there. Alright, and I want to push the eye in a little more, and I have to go in there and cut it out. I'll do it later on. And when I come back, hopefully everything will set. I really like the positions of the eyes over here. And then once you put all the rest of the color for the bloodshot eyes and all that, I think it's going to pop really nicely. Alright. So let's leave this one alone, and then when I come back, hopefully it'll set. I do want to put a little bit of black around the eyes, so we'll see about that. Alright, so I'll be back a little later. Alright, so welcome back. And so I used for base color black brown from oh boy, from Pro Acro. You know, I'm looking for something, and I'm trying to find. There we go. All right. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry brush. I'm going to, you know, there's a lot of texture on the coat, and I want to try to preserve some of the shadows and shading underneath. So what I would like to try to do is just do a little dry brushing, and the color that I picked for doing that is from Vallejo Orange Brown. And the reason why I picked this color is because I want to keep the jacket. I want to pick a color that you know, something that you would find an old jacket in your grandfather's closet or great grandfather's closet. An old color I guess, or whatever, for lack of a better word. You know, so I wanted to give that a try. I want to go lightly over it and just grab the top pieces and try to save some of that shading. I was also thinking about doing some little fraying maybe on the edges of the coat with the lighter color, all right, and things like that. And maybe on the collar, things where things were fray, like an old jacket, an old cozy, comfy jacket, kind of, in a way. Yeah, the color of the scarf, I'm not sure what color I'm gonna go with that yet. I was thinking maybe putting more like a vibrant color, and I'm still debating on that one. So, what I would like to do is pick out maybe a couple colors to match and see how they go with that jacket color that I'm picking. All right, we'll see where we go with that. All right, so I got a nice big soft brush. I want to try this one first. Let me get rid of some of this color here on this board. It's a small board, and I don't want to put a whole lot on there. All right, so I got some color on there, and gently brushing against the grain of the texture on the jacket. All right. I'm not worried if I get color on the scarf because I think I'm going to paint a base color over it anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Alright, so nice soft brush. Get in there. Go against the grain. Alright, let's see how it's picking up that nice color. Yeah. I like that. I keep on getting interrupted. Sorry about that. Okay. You don't want to have your brush too loaded up. You don't want to lose all that detail. And if you have to do this a couple times, then that's what you're going to have to do. But, just a little bit at a time. Just do this top surface. Nice soft brush. You're still maintaining that detail underneath. And even some of the shadows, so, which is nice. So, might have to hit a couple different spots with a different brush, but that's okay. This is working out pretty good. Nice dry brush. All right. Got a little bit of paint left here. Grab that. And using this big brush like this, I saw how Brent Gowdy from Groundeffected, he uses his, and I stole the idea from him. So give him props. My man is a great painter. I follow his channel all the time. He's my dad, so you guys know what I'm talking about if you watch him. So, all right. Try not to lose the detail there, so get this broad brush. I'm gonna have to go with a smaller one there. I like these highlights, shadows, just naturally done, just with the dry brush. And you could just go with it like that. I really like the way it came out. And it's, you got to push the colors in a little bit more in certain areas. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do now is, wait, hold on. First of all, let me put a little water here. All right, excuse me for a second. I'm going to clean this up real quick and I'll be right back. I just wanted to make sure that brush was clean because I like that brush and I don't want to, you know, let it get ruined. So I'm using a little bit smaller one from the same set. It's a really cheap makeup set that I bought from Amazon. If I can find the link, I'll leave it down below. You know, these things, they work great because they're nice and soft and you can get to spots that you want to get at and all that. Like I said, I want to put a little bit of color back here. Maybe go a little bit heavier with the paint. Just to get enough color in there. I think color is going to show when you put the head in. We'll test it out later and all that. I need more paint. This has been a very fun kit to do. I'm glad that I did it. I'm still working on a couple other kits. I'm waiting for some oils to dry and get in a couple days, so it gives me a little chance to work on other stuff like this, you know, and things like that. You know, so I am still working on a couple kits. I got like 3 or 4 kits on my bench right now, so you know, so I'm jumping back and forth. Alright, so I'm going to let this dry nice, and then I'm going to seal it, and then once it's sealed I want to see where it's at if I need to keep on adding more. You know, once it's sealed it'll tone things down a little bit. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Okay, welcome back. So where we left off, I left off that I was gonna seal this, I believe, and then I was gonna do some work on the base. I was thinking about doing some kind of effect or whatever, but it didn't work out, so I scratched that and I just painted this whole thing black. I used a black 3.0 to do this. They say it's the blackest black. I don't think. I have blacker paint from over the counter that's darker than that. What's nice about this is that it's a very matte black. Okay, and it's a really, really nice color for black, but it's very matte. But it's not as the darkest black that I have. I'm happy with it. You know, I just had this for a long time. I just don't want it to go to waste. So I've been using this for doing more like things like this, and I'm going to be using it to paint the back of it and things like that. What I want to work on right now is this is done. This is pretty much done. This is the way it's going to be. So we'll put that aside for now. What I want to work on now is painting the scarf. Now last night with the fellas, I was talking over about what colors to use. And I was like debating where to go with the spectrum of the paint and everything, and with some recommendations from the fellas, from Gilbert. We were talking on the Friday night meet. I decided to go with this these two colors here. One for the base and another one for the highlight. Okay. So those are the two colors that I'm gonna use. And find the other one. Here it is. So the two colors that I'm using is the first one for the base is gonna be a blueberry, and then the orchid light for the highlights. Okay. And this is from the Nocturna series from the Imperial Purple set. Okay. I love the color. I love the series of the Nocturna series. Those colors are just freaking amazing. Alright. So what I'm going to work on now is putting the color down for the scarf. They have a name for it. It's an older name for what this is, and I forgot what it was. And yeah, so that's the way I'm gonna go with to using. I want something to kind of like pop a little bit. You know, there were more dramatic colors used for these kind of things back in the day. Now, like someone had said, someone says, well, Nosferatu used the black color in some of the pictures that they saw, and I didn't want to go black because I think it'll just, you know, it'll darken everything up, and he's Orlok, so you know. Alright, so I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and I'm going to seal it, and then we'll do the highlights. Alright. Okay, so let's continue. The next color is going to be the orchid light. Okay. And I'm just going to dry brush a little bit on there. Just in case I need that to clean. Okay, I'm going to put a couple of drops of water. Just like I don't want the paint to be cakey, you know, so. Okay. I got a nice It's like a filbert brush, but I use it as a dry brush. It's very soft. Very subtle color. Beautiful, beautiful. And I like the way it complements everything. So I'm going to let this dry again, and I'm going to seal it again. And I'll place the head on there and see what kind of, you know, what am I getting out of it. You know, like I said, if you don't like it, you can always, you know, paint over it and change the color or whatever. But I'm really happy with the results so far. Alright, so hopefully everything looks good. I can complete this and move on to whatever I need to finish on the kit. So let me seal this and I'll be back and then we'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, so next I want to put a little bit of increase the shadows a little bit here in certain areas, and I'm using Shading Gray by Golden. This is a transparent. It's very diluted already, you know, it's very thin. So I only put like a drop or two of Flow Improver. That's all I did. Alright, so very lightly, just like that. Okay, just go into certain areas. Just throw a little enhancement on the shadows. That's it. I think that's enhanced a lot better. It's got a lot more texture and a little more, like the natural highlights are sticking out a little more too, which is nice. Alright, so that's it. I just wanted to touch up a little bit of shading on the coat and a little bit on the scarf, and I think we're good to go right there. Alright, so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to touch up those two little dots that I have here and here. Alright, and I'll seal it, and then I'm going to do this off camera. I'm going to paint this all black. Alright, and then after that, all I have to do is finish up his head. As far as his head goes, put gloss in the eyes, put gloss in the mouth a little bit, and I want to do a little blood effect, and I'm going to record that part. Alright, so hang tight, I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the clear on the eyes, alright, the gloss. So what I'm going to use for that is a Fun Minute epoxy. It's a clear epoxy. You're still going to need to put a little tint to it, a little color, because you don't want it to yellow when it, you know, when it dries and it gets, you know. So I'm going to put just a very little bit like that. I'm going to use this again a little later, so. And I'm going to use a little bit of the resin. Try to put equal amounts. Those are good. Okay, what I have here is Dragong Nightshade. Okay. I already mixed it, but let me mix it a little more. I only need a little drop. So I'm going to get a little drop in there of the blue, just so it doesn't yellow on you, and mix it in there. Okay. So this way the epoxy doesn't yellow up on you. I need a little more drop here. I'm going to another toothpick here. So I don't think that was enough. There we go. Okay, and I got a sacrificial brush to brush the stuff in. Alright, so you got to be a little quick about this because 5-minute epoxy is going to dry quick on you. Alright, so make sure you got a good mix. Alright. Okay, so we're going to do the eyes. Sacrificial brush. That's why I buy these cheap brushes from, you know, Hobby Lobby or whatever. Just get a bunch of them, so this way you have them. Alright, and this stuff works great for this finish. Alright. You get a nice, really nice glossy finish. Try to get a little bit underneath there. I know I'm using a big brush, but I ran out of the sacrificial little brushes. I'm using a little bigger brush than what I usually like to use. Alright. But if you're careful enough, you can do this. Alright. Just get a little bit in that corner right there. It gives it a beautiful shine. It'll self-level itself out. Okay. Just, you don't need to put a lot. Just make sure you put it in the areas that you want. And you get that crazy gloss on the eyes. Alright, look at that. Alright. Yeah. That's what you want. Okay, I'm going to put a little gloss, but not this stuff, on his mouth. I don't want it to be as glossy because I am going to be doing a little bit of effect. Let me fix that right there. So I can level out. And so you can let that dry. Okay. Alright, let me see if I can. Awesome. Alright. So I'm going to be doing an effect. I want to do a little bit of blood. I want to do a little bit of drip. So for that, I'm going to have to put glue a little string. And I don't want to go overboard with the dripping of the blood. One, because it's going to be moved around because I'm going to bring this to the show. Okay? And I don't want that to break off or anything like that. So I'm going to just want to do a little bit of a drip. So I'm going to have to do a little string work. Put a little string where the blood comes out, and then maybe go just off just about that much. Okay. Alright, so we're going to work on that next. So I'm going to let this dry first before we jump in and do that. Alright. So. Alright, so I'll be back. Okay. Let me get a new shop towel here, and let's pull the head out here. Okay, so like I was saying before, I want to do a little drip of blood just hanging over his just hanging right over his chin. So what I'm going to do is going to cut a piece of string here with this little scissor. And all right, and I want to glue this on here, just right there. All right, and I got it red because you know, and it's not going to be that long. It's going to be just off the chin. All right, like I said, this is going to be packed and moved, and I don't want this to either break off or bend or, you know, something happen to it because it's just hanging too low. So it's going to be a small piece. A string right hanging right off his chin. All right, and then we're going to give him a little blood effect. All right, it's going to be hanging just like that. Okay. We're going to give him a little blood effect there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little glue. Glue here. All right. I'm just going to put a little bit there. And I'm going to grab just with a toothpick. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. Grab another one so I can push it in. Alright, just like that. Okay, we're going to snip off this rest of this other piece right here. Alright, and this is the only freaking scissors I have, but let me try to. There we go. Just like that. That much right there. Okay, hopefully you can see that really good. Alright. Okay, so next up is I'm going to grab it. This is the cup that I use for the, and this is just dried really quick. And it was just a little while ago I did that. So it's already hard. So let's dump that. Let's get a new one. Okay. And what I'm going to use next is FX blood. It's like a coagulated, really dark, and it's going to hide that string. It should hide that string. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is, okay, so really quick, let me run this by you real quick. I know some people said, well, why don't you use UV curing resin to do that? And I tried doing that one time before with it, and the problem that I ran into was, I don't know if it's the mixture with the, I don't remember if it was FX blood or I used something else. It didn't cure right, and it wasn't curing. It wasn't giving me the effect that I wanted. So this method here is from Rafael Robledo Jr. Like I spoke about him in the beginning of the video. This is, he did quite a few of these translucent resin. And he did something where he did something like this for the drip of blood, and that's kind of like what I wanted to go with him. And the method that he just used 5-minute epoxy, this DEFCON stuff. Okay, and it worked. It seems like it worked pretty well for him. And he did mix this stuff, but you can use I also have the stuff from Green Stuff World. They got the True Blood and Coagulated Blood. You know, one is redder and one is... You can use this stuff if you want to. Mix it in. I'm sure you're going to get the same effect. Now, the curing time on the epoxy with the mixture of that, I don't know how that's going to work. And I did this before one time, but I don't remember if I used the DEFCON or not, to be honest with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put equals amount of resin and hardener into the cup. Okay. Now I'm not going to use all of this to do the blood. I'm going to use regular blood without the resin and stuff to continue onto the teeth and stuff. I just wanted to use it on the drip. Okay. So again, I'm just going to use it for the drip. So I want to get a good mix in here. Okay, where's the woochie? Let's mix the woochie up. Alright. Let me clean this up real quick. Okay, good stuff. Let's mix it in. Get a good mix. Make sure you mix all the resin and all the blood and the hardener all together really good. All right, once I put this on, guys, there's no going back. All right, so this is make or break me, you know. So as I am going to put the stick back on though, because just in case I got to turn the head and all that. All right, so got a nice mix of blood. All right, so give me 1 sec. Where's my stick first of all? So I am going to use the toothpick to apply a thin line. Okay. Let's start with the thin line on his from the teeth to down, and then we'll work on the dripping as this stuff gets a little harder. Alright, so take this off for a sec. So I need to get a little... Sorry for my head. So I'm hoping this stuff starts to get warming up a little bit. drip a little bigger. Just a little bit right there. So I'm going to thicken up the line from down his chin. Just a little bit. Just to make sure I'm hiding that string. Just now starting to stiffen up a little bit. See how it started to stiffen up? That's what you want right there. Just get a little more gooey. You don't want to mess with it too much once it starts to get too hard, because then you're going to start messing it up. But I need to get a little bit of more of a drop effect. There you go. Yeah. See, it wasn't looking to get it too. Okay, so that's pretty tacky right now, so it's good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the rest of the blood. And then once it's done, so that's done. That's pretty much done with the head, guys. Alright, so. And just gloss up some of this stuff right here. Alright. Alright, so here we go. Some of that blood pool in here. There we go. Oops, that's too much. You know, I tried this stuff, this green stuff for blood. It's pretty good. But there's nothing like this stuff, man. This stuff's just like, it's like real stuff, you know? I just love using it. I was thinking about doing like a splatter effect on his face. I don't think a lot of people appreciate that though. I don't know if they have the same vision that I have. Like when you bite into something and it's blood back on you and stuff. That's what I was thinking about. But yeah, I don't think people would appreciate that. I don't know. You know, what do you guys think? A little bit more. You know. Get them nice and dirty with blood and stuff. That's what I was thinking. Have this stuff like drip. Oh yeah. There we go. I wanted to pull a little bit of blood. There you go. It's okay. It's run off. Blood is a sloppy thing, guys. It's okay if it's a little sloppy, alright? There he is, right there. Take a look. Yeah, it just looks a lot alive, you know, with the blood. Oh, hang tight. Just hang tight. There you go. That stuff washes out pretty good too. Alright. So I got some gloss varnish here. Okay. The blood state is very glossy, so it's okay, you don't have to touch that. But I am going to add a little bit of gloss. Not heavy gloss like the epoxy, but doing this part of the lip right there up to there. That's it. Just right inside right there. Just like a little bit more, just like give him like his mouth is getting watery. You know? There you go. That's it. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Just that blood looks so real, you know? Oh, it's amazing, man. Alright, give me 1 second, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, gang. That's pretty much it right there, guys. It's been a really fun kit to paint. Here I have the base. Okay, I was just getting prepped for start. I want to start gluing. All right, so he's, I was going to start gluing the pegs and the things to put them all together and get them ready to go. Okay, I don't want to mess with this stuff because I need to align them to get them on the base the proper way. Okay, so there he is. That's how he would stand on the base right there, like that. Pretty simple. Okay, and then his head is going to get pegged and glued onto the base, onto the torso. Okay, so there he is. I was contemplating on putting a couple drips of blood on his outfit. Not 100%. There's all the detail and the skin. Alright, I'm trying to be careful with this. And there he is, guys. That's how he's going to be sitting, laying on his torso. I am so happy the way he came out. I think he came out very, very beautiful. A lot of detail. Beautiful stuff to work with, man. I'm really, I was so apprehensive. Like, if you watch the beginning of the video, I was so apprehensive of doing this type of resin because I never did it, this style of painting. And I'm really happy with the outcome on it. And it makes me want to go paint the other ones that I have. I'm going to leave a link down below for Whitworth Sculpture Studio. Okay, he has kits produced by him. He also has kits that were made by Bergholtz, which is this one of these. And he also has kits made by Casey Love in there. Okay, and guys, visit his eBay site. I'm going to leave that link down below. I think his eBay site is the more accurate and up to date as far as the kits that he has available. If you're going to purchase a kit from him, just make sure, if you want to do it translucent, make sure that is a translucent kit that he's selling and not just a regular resin. Okay, there's a difference. So he has them listed, but some of them are not, and I don't know if those come in translucent or not. So if you have any questions about that, the best thing to do is just message him. He's pretty good about messaging you back and letting you know what's available. Also, if you want to get a sale, what I suggest for you guys to do before you purchase one is to follow him on eBay or put it on your wish list or whatever. And usually what you get is an email telling you that this kit is on sale, or if you buy one, you get the other one for a certain discount. I don't know how he does it, but I remember picking up a couple of these like that on sale. Okay, all right, so if you want to go about that, you want to get a sale when he runs the sales, put him on your wish list, and he usually runs a sale on these kits, and you'll be able to get it at a better price. Okay, so that's my suggestion for you guys. There he is right here, Orlok, Bergholtz, produced by Whitworth Sculpture Studio, and I'm going to leave a link down below for everybody and everything. Rafael Robledo Jr., thank you for making all those awesome videos, man, and I'm going to leave a link down below for him too there. He's an amazing painter, just overall, man, he does a lot of awesome work. And I took a lot of his techniques from him on how to paint this. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of his YouTube channel. I highly suggest you guys, if you don't know about him, go check him out, and you're going to learn a lot of stuff just by watching his stuff. All right, I did. I know I did, and I'm so happy the way this came out. The results on it is amazing. I love the colors, you know, and thank you to Gil and to Steve. We were talking about, you know, what color to paint the scarf last night, and I went out and did that with this one, and I'm so happy the way it came out. I like the color, how it just, it's vibrant, doesn't take away from the skin tone work that I did on them, and I'm really happy, you know, I went with that choice, you know, with their help. Doing a little shadow work too, that was a little recommendation from them on the jacket. All right, to do a little more shadow work, but you know, that's what we do on the Friday nights. We talk a lot about this kind of stuff, and you know, it's really fun to do and stuff on the Styrene Syndicate. So I'm going to leave a link down below for everything, any information that I promised that I was going to leave down there. I'm going to try my best to make sure that I cover all those topics. If you have any questions, guys, I'm putting up I'm going to leave the link down below for this too, a new Facebook page, Just Paint It. Okay, and I'm going to have my personal Facebook account there too with my name on it. You guys have any questions? You guys want to use that page to post your work in progress or any work that you have done, and if there was anything that I was able to help you with, I would appreciate if you guys post there and show me your work, because I would love to see if you guys are taking advantage of what I do, and what kind of feedback you guys can give me to try to make things better for you. So, you know, use that platform right there to send me messages. If you need help with anything, contact me there, and I'll be more than happy to help you any way I can. Okay, so that's going to be there for you guys to use. If you guys want to post pictures, you know, please be respectful. And, you know, I hope I don't need to say this, but be respectful and just careful what you post and things like that. So, but use that platform, guys, if you want. That's the way you want it. Post pictures of the work you guys are doing. Show me what you guys are doing. I'll be more than happy to. If you guys need help with anything, I'll be more than happy to help you. Or if not, I'll direct you to someone who can help you with it if I don't have the answer for you. All right. But as far as this guy goes, he's done. I'm going to put beauty pictures up at the end for you guys to see. And I hope you learned something from this. Okay. I was a little apprehensive of doing this from the beginning, but I'm so happy that, you know, I'm going to take this to the show, Jersey Fest. So you guys are going to go, you're most likely going to see this guy in there. Okay. So I'm so happy with this. I got more work to do. All right, other kits to finish. I'm going to get on that right now. But as far as him, he's done. All right, he's good to go. So there he is, Orlok, Andy Bergholtz, Whitworth Sculpture Studios. All right, you guys are interested in getting something like this, hit him up. You know, pick up the kit. It's a beautiful kit, 1/3 scale, just a little bit of the 1/4 scale, between 1/3 and 1/4, I think. But it's a beautiful, beautiful kit, and I'm so happy of the outcome. And he just looks evil as hell, man. Look at that. I love it. Beautiful. So excited. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys really learned something from this, and I'll see you next video. Peace.